Shalom, shalom, people of God. It is always an honor for me to come to you to speak a word to you or to encourage you to teach whatever the case may be, whatever is required of me. I've been hearing strongly in my spirit for the past weeks after Yeshua got up, and oftentimes during this time, for most people, the celebration of his death, burial, and resurrection climaxes at the third day. However, this love work did not stay at the third day. It transcended the third day. It went beyond the third day. And so I found myself very strongly in my spirit this question. After Yeshua got up, and so I've been looking at the scriptures from this perspective after he got up. And I have been quickening my spirit to speak to you from this aspect on today. Now, Apostle John testifies of one of these such encounters of what transpired after he got up. And I believe specifically this is one of the first encounters which transpired after Yeshua got up. The scripture says in John chapter 20 and verse 19 that when the Talmidim, I'm reading from the Complete Jewish Bible, when the Talmidim, that is the disciples, were gathered together behind locked doors out of fear for the Judeans, for the Jewish leaders, Yeshua came and he stood in the middle and he said, Shalom Aleikhem, peace be unto you. As I said, I was reading John 20 verse 19 from the Complete Jewish Bible. Now, the scripture says something here very specific. It says that the Talmidim, the disciples, they had gathered together, watch this, behind locked doors out of fear for the Judeans or for the Jewish leaders. So here's a very important question you should be asking at this time. Why were they afraid? Now you have to understand something. Yeshua HaMashiyach was their head, and their head had just been removed, and it is as a result of this that they were afraid and were gathered together behind locked doors. Now watch this. Whenever you remove the head from its body, the body would convulse. Let me say that again. Whenever you remove a head from its body, the body convulses. And so Yeshua says, watch this, prophesying about this moment of convulsion. He said in Matthew chapter 26 from verse 30 to 31, Yeshua said, after singing the Hallel, that is a portion of scripture from Psalms 113 to 118, then he, Yeshua, and his disciples went out to the Mount of Olives. Yeshua then said to them, tonight you will all lose faith in me, as the Tanakh has said. The Tanakh says, watch this, I will strike the shepherd dead, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered. Now he was quoting what prophet Zechariah had spoken of in Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 7. And so that word scattered from the Hebrew, or the Hebrew term used here is pus, P-U-S. And although it means disperse, it does not only speak of a scattering or a dispersion. That same term pus also speaks of to shatter, to crush, to break into pieces. And so from this second definition of this verb, we see here it is not just limited to a scattering or a dispersing, but specifically in this sense, I believe it is speaking of a breaking in pieces or a crushing. So here they have gathered together behind closed doors, feeling crushed, feeling as if they had been shattered. They were now shaking. What were they doing? They were convulsing. They were shaking because their head was removed. And so now the rest of the body was now here gathered together in fear. Glory be to God. However, as they were convulsing, the scripture says, because it didn't say there, that Yeshua HaMashiyach came and he stood in the middle of them. And as he stood in the middle of them, knowing that they were convulsing, knowing that they had gathered in fear, knowing that they were there because they were afraid of what may happen or what is going to happen or what might happen. As he stood in the midst of them, the scripture says that Yeshua spoke and he said, Shalom Aleikhem. Peace be unto you. My brother, my sister, my friend. Many of you right now are in a time like the disciples of old were in a time of convulsion. Your circumstances have brought you to this end, to this place, where you are thinking, what if he doesn't come? Or what if he's not able to? What if he doesn't answer? And there, you're surrounded by a lot of what ifs. You're experiencing this right now. That spirit of faith is bombarding your life. And you've been asking questions, wondering what if. It is because you are in that time of convulsion. But I hear the Spirit of God speaking very strongly. This word, that even in the midst of your convulsions, even in the midst of your uncertainties, even in the midst of this time where you are wondering, would God come through for me? I came by just to speak this word into your spirit and to bring that peace into your being, so that you know that if God be for you, no man can stand against you. As Yeshua spoke as he stood in the midst of his disciples, so say I unto you, Shalom Aleikhem. May the peace of God be with you. Stand still and know that he is God. Stand still and know that he has not forgotten you and he will not leave your side, for he promised that I will be with you even unto the ends of the world. Even when you get to the midst of that place where you feel as if you are so far removed, he says, I will be present with you. May you encounter his presence, and also may his peace rise within you and give you that comfort that you so need in this time, where your mental faculties is going left, right, forward and backward, trying to wonder and figure out, what if? Know that Yeshua HaMashiyach has not changed. He's the same yesterday. And see him standing in the midst of you right now and releasing his blessing, releasing his word, his promise, his covenant to you. Peace be unto you. Shalom Aleikhem. May you embrace his peace and may your life be transformed so that you can hold on to God's unchanging hand for truth. He's standing with you and he is for you. And nothing that is coming against you right now, no one that is coming against you has that permission from heaven to stand against you. Thank you for listening to this word, and may your spirit be challenged to hold on to God's unchanging hand. Shalom Aleikhem from me to you. God bless you, and I love you. See you soon.